Hello, hello. It is Thursday. Are you thriving? Are you planning to prosper? Are you preparing for winter? We called interest rates to be at 6%. By the end of the summer, we are 2, 3 months ahead of schedule. I'm calling it now to be 7.5, 8%. By the end of the summer, it is what it is. And so be ready, prepare, plan. We continue today our findings and learnings from the Tony Robbins Financial Seminar Summit, and we continue today with Ray Dalio, considered by many to be the number one most successful wealth manager of all time, certainly number one on the list of earnings. And so he's especially famous for his all-weather proof formula. Essentially, his guaranteed formula for not losing money, which is what most managers are supposed to do. If you ask most managers, what's their number one goal? People would think it's ROI or returns or what, and it's not. It's actually don't lose money. That's the number one goal of every financial manager, is don't lose money. And so his all-weather proof, which is based on two things. Number one, it's asymmetrical risk, which is basically an investment where the upside is greater than the investment. So, you look for a 3-to-1, 5-to-1, 10-to-1, whatever. And the goal is to make several of them. So if you make 5 different, 5-to-1 investments, you don't need all 5 of them to be successful, just 1 or 2, and then you're in the profit. And so he's huge on asymmetrical risk. And secondary, it is his philosophy is that you should have 10 to 15 uncorrelated bets in your portfolio. So for example, you should have your stocks, you should have your bonds, you should have your real estate, you should have your crypto, you should have your maybe VC, you should have your mutual funds, 10 to 15 totally different things, uncorrelated. And if you've got your hand in everything, then it's very hard to lose. If the real estate market goes down, then you've got your other uncorrelated bets. And so that's he's the godfather of these things. Again, it's how he's gotten to, the top of the leaderboard in the way of earnings. And so Ray Dalio's outlook on the future is it is widely important to have a diversified portfolio. It's important to not be holding cash. Again, inflation is currently reported at around 7%, but every speaker talked about inflation being underreported and that it's really like 10 to 15%. And so if you've got cash in the bank, it's like someone's coming in there and taking 10% or 15%, depending where you are on the spectrum, 10 to 15% away from you. So you've got to be doing something. You've got to be investing somehow to offset inflation. He likes gold. He says gold is a winner. Index bonds, I'm reading my notes here. Index bonds are superior to traditional bonds. So get in the bond game as you see things get tough. Real estate in general is good, but compared to a well-diversified portfolio because of liquidity. So essentially, if I'm to be totally honest, every speaker across the board was bullish on real estate. Real estate is always a good hedge against inflation. And so the key takeaway is that 2022 is a transitional year. The government's very clearly pulling liquidity out of the market. We're seeing that in the way of rates and other vehicles. And so 2022 is a transitional year. 2023, believed by most, and Ray as well, to be expecting likely a recession. So there you have it, right? In summation, asymmetrical risk, 10 to 15 uncorrelated bets. Gold's a winner. Bonds are great. And make sure to be diversified. That's what we have for you today. See you next week, folks.